So in the last couple of days, we've talked about slope, which is a hugely important concept in math. And our next topic is we're going to learn about something called the Y-intercept. Okay, so they go hand in hand. The Y-intercept and the slope are two ways of describing where your line is on a grid. So some important things to know about the Y-intercept. Well, what is it? The Y-intercept is found where the graphed line crosses the x-axis. So if I look at my line, I'm looking to see not where it crosses the y-axis, but where it crosses the x-axis. So on this first graph, I would say that my Y-intercept is equal to 1. Okay. Now the symbol for the Y-intercept, not really sure why, is B. So I would say that the value B, the Y-intercept right here, is 1. So let's look on this other graph here. So the Y-intercept does not always need to be in the positive zone. In this second graph over here, if I follow along the line, I can see that here is where my graph crosses the y-axis, and at that value I can say, well, my Y-intercept is -2, right? Because it's below 0 on my vertical axis, right? Or another way to say that would be that B is equal to -2. So another point that I want to highlight, and this is going to come in handy when we start to look at tables of value, is that at the Y-intercept, the value of x is 0. Okay? So, for instance, right, I'm not moving side to side here at all. I'm simply moving up and down. So my x value here would be 0. So as a coordinate, that Y-intercept is really at 0 and 1. Because remember that my x value always goes first. I didn't move side to side. I only moved upward to get to my Y-intercept. Okay? On this other graph here, same idea, right? If this is 0, I didn't move side to side at all. I simply moved downward. So that coordinate, the coordinate of my Y-intercept is at 0 and -2. So now we're going to look at tables of values, and we're going to have to use what we just talked about what the value of x is when the Y-intercept is 0. So remember, the Y-intercept occurs when the x value is 0. So if a table of values asks you to identify where my Y-intercept is, you're going to be looking for the value of y when your x value is 0. So in this first table here, I can see that my x value is 0 when y is 10. So that tells me that my Y-intercept, okay, or B, is 10. All right, take a minute and see if you can figure out where the Y-intercept is, what the value of the Y-intercept is in my second table of values on the right. All right, so looking down my x coordinates. Oh, here's the 0. Here's where my x value is 0. And so I can tell from that my Y-intercept, my value for my Y-intercept is 7, right? Hopefully you got that. If you still don't understand, make sure that you pause the video and ask me to explain.